weekend's UFC. He's been on the program a couple times. Let's welcome back to the show, EDMEN SHAHBAZYAN. EDMEN, how are you?
Good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. We appreciate your time. You know, it seems like just yesterday it was your first UFC fight. You did our show, and now as I'm looking, it's like that was 5 years ago already. Does it feel like that?
Yeah, it's crazy how time flies, huh? Like, I'm looking at it right now. This is, I believe, my 11th UFC fight. So I kind of basically grew up in the UFC, so it's a blessing, and I'm thankful for it, and it's another great opportunity for me this weekend, you know. Each fight for me in the UFC is a blessing.
What's the biggest difference from that first fight, you know, whether it's nutrition, whether it's the media, whether it's, you know, now, you know, social media that's blown up? What do you think is the biggest difference so far in those 5-6 years?
Yes. Well, the main thing is experience, and then just knowledge on, like, fighting and understanding, you know, how like the high level works, understanding different techniques, you know, just building my like fight IQ and all that in the UFC, and getting to have that at a young age and really build on that. It's been incredible, and I'm thankful for it.
I know that we're past this, but I'm curious. It has been a little while since we spoke. What was it like the first time you're watching, whether it was ESPN or Fox or whatever, you know, it could have been, and, you know, they had that little roll down at the bottom, and your name is on the scroll at the bottom of ESPN?
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. It was amazing, and it's just a real moment at that time. But, you know, now, like, if I see it, it's like natural to me, honestly. Like, it's like second nature, I swear. Like, it's fight week now, but it's like I've done it so many times now, and it feels nice. It feels nice. Back then I would get more of those like nerves and jitters, and now like it's a lot less, and, you know, it's more natural.
You're talking about fight week, and I was going to ask that, you know,
Yeah.
What is the difference of fight week from 5 years ago? Is it all the same? Obviously the feelings are different, but do you try to do the same things every fight week?
Yeah, so like the feelings are different. Yeah, obviously like the media day, you have the signings, you have all those check-in stuff. Those are all the same, but as far as feeling, I feel way better now, like way more relaxed, it's much easier for me. Like, I'm not worried about anything. I have a good team by me that like is with me throughout the whole time. I kind of have like routines I do during fight week that I follow. I have my nutritionist. I have all these stuff that are so helpful and prepare me for fight night.
How do you decide, and typically it's on Wednesday, how do you decide where you sign on the poster, and how does the autograph change from poster 1 to the 100th poster?
Yeah, honestly, my autograph is not that hard, so it's the same one the whole time, but I like sitting on the side where, you know, I sit on the right side because I'm right-handed, and I like that side always. I don't know where I always choose like an open spot somewhere like small, and I just go.
EDMEN, I was saying earlier to Randy that the middleweight division, you know, it was always been one of the greatest, most exciting divisions, and then, you know, inevitably it takes a little downward tumble, and people are focused on the heavyweight division, or it could be light heavyweight. But I think right now the middleweight division is getting a lot of attention. What are your thoughts on your division and the people that are on top?
Oh yeah, I think it's a very stacked division right now, and there's a lot of good fights that could be made, and competition is just getting better and better. So it's a very interesting division. I think it's going to continue being interesting, and a lot of people are going to keep talking about it because of the highly skilled athletes in this division. You know, obviously every division has highly skilled athletes, but I feel like the middleweight division is just it right now. I don't know.
Well, and speaking of competition and skilled, talk about Gerald, your opponent, this Saturday.
Yeah, you know, Gerald's a very experienced fighter. He's been in the UFC for a while as well, and has a lot of fights. So I've done my footage on him. I've studied him. I've trained for his specific style, and I think he's a great opponent. He's a great fighter, good everywhere. Obviously, his main area would be the ground, but I'm ready for that. I've trained really, really hard, prepped with amazing people here in Vegas, and it's just now about going on fight night and performing. That's all.
I never ask game plans and that kind of stuff because obviously, A, you wouldn't tell us, and B, we don't want to know. But, when you are putting that together, how much of it is, you're getting prepared for the opponent, and how much do you watch, in this case, Gerald's video, or see some tendencies that he may do? Do you do any of that, or do you not even need to worry about it because it's what you're going to do?
No. So, it's obviously what I'm going to do, but I will watch some of his footage to catch on things he does or does well and doesn't do well. So I react off of those in the fight. But obviously, in the fight, everything could be completely different. He might come out a different way or a different approach. So you have to be ready at all angles. But watching his fights and catching certain things he does in each fight is beneficial to use it in training and then eventually the fight. So that's what I'll try to do.
I always say, about game plans, whether it's, I also cover the NFL, and, I've had people say, send me a list of the 10 questions you're going to ask. Kind of like what you just said with a game plan. How do you even do that when, if you're thinking left and something goes right, it changes everything that you thought you were going to do?
Yeah, so that's why you can't really, I feel like if you lock into like one certain game plan, and then something goes like south and you don't have like a backup, you can't really do it like that. I feel like your mind's got to be pretty open in the fight. You have to have a specific way you want the fight to go, but you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to step this way and only this way and just counter him or something like that. It's got to be, you got to be open-minded and, open to different situations the fight goes. That's why in training, especially here, we train, like each of my rounds could be a different style of fighter, which can happen in the fight. Like he could change up the way he fights in the next round or the next round.
Mm-hmm.
Edmen, do fighting odds motivate you? For instance, if you're a favorite, does it help you to win the fight? And if you're not chosen as the favorite, if you're the underdog, does that motivate you to win the fight? So do you pay attention to fighting odds, especially when you're out in Vegas?
No, not really. Like my friends will or something like that, but I don't really care. It is what it is, like fight odds. It's cool for people to make money, but
Yeah. Would you,
I don't really pay attention to it. It doesn't really change the way I'm gonna perform.
Don't you hate though when people ask you, "Should I bet on you?" Like
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you going to say? How are you going to answer that question? I've heard that asked to somebody.
I'm always say, bet the house on me. Bet the house.
There you go. Give me your thoughts. Difference. Is there a difference to you, Apex or a big arena?
No, honestly, right now, since I'm living in Las Vegas, Apex is awesome. I'm literally 10 minutes away from the Apex. I sleep in my own bed. And obviously I train at the UFC PI and Extreme Couture, so it's literally like going to practice. That's how it feels going to the Apex, and it's amazing having it here and having the comfort of my own house.
Before I ask what can the fans expect, I'm sure you're aware it's been just about a year and a half since your last bonus, so I think it's time to do another bonus, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, of course. That's the thing. When I fight, I always try to perform amazingly, and most of my fights have been finishes. So, it's always expect a great fight out of me because I always come in there very well prepared and to put on a performance.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you could have a great performance, but if the opponent doesn't bring the same kind of whatever that word is I'm looking for, it's hard to put that performance of the night or fight night together. So I think you have that dance partner. So what can the fans expect on Saturday when you and Gerald get in the octagon?
Definitely. Yeah, he brings it all the time. So you definitely expect a war here because we're both going to come out and implement our game plans and go out to try to finish each other.
There you have it. Edmen, as always, thank you. Welcome back to the show. Have fun on Saturday. Get through the next couple days, and then I call it Christmas on Saturday because you get to do what you love best.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I know we have your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as some Bucked Up energy drink for coming on and spending a couple minutes with us.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care. That is EDMEN SHAHBAZYAN. Back in the octagon on Saturday. We're going to hit this quick break. When we return, his opponent will be on, Gerald Meerschaert, when we return.
This is Dale Murphy, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
This is the